it felt like there was this guilt, but when I uncovered it, it was excitement that had been shamed away. And so really what this part of me wanted to feel was excitement, but every time I felt excited, I would feel guilty for that and shame myself and like put it out. There was all of these steps, but then all of a sudden that hit. I wasn't meeting and trying to repair. It was this fierce protection energy. I feel like it opened up a new spot in myself. It was another level of self-love.
We'll make it out and fall in love tonight.
Are you ready for the Steph Craig show, Stephanie?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. It's been a while. That's why it's awkward.
It has been.
It's been a few weeks since we've actually recorded. Together, at least. Like, just the two of us.
I'm immediately coughing. Why does it feel like when we go a couple of weeks that it's like
that we don't know what we're doing anymore?
I was going to start singing the Madonna song.
What's the Madonna song?
Like a Virgin.
Yeah.
Podcasting for the very first time.
Podcasting for the very first time. Like a podcaster.
I love it. That's
It
right.
does feel
You feel
awkward,
it,
doesn't
right?
it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is weird. It is awkward and strange for us. What's your tea say?
This one says, your actions prove your greatness.
There you go.
And may your head and heart speak with one voice.
There you go.
Nice,
Those are
right?
good ones.
Those are good ones.
Let's see what mine says.
What do yours say?
This is riveting.
It is.
The brightness of your being is generated from within.
Did you only have one tea bag in there?
I just got one bag.
I like to double tea bag.
I know, you're all about the bagging. What should we start off with? I feel like we've got so many different things that we've been talking about, like leading up to this episode. We're like, we got to talk about this on the podcast.
Right?
We want to talk about this on the podcast.
Do you remember any of them?
Some of them.
Yeah, like what?
I remember I wanted to talk about the awareness that I had, and I don't remember how long ago it was. It wasn't that long ago, but it was all about healing and feeling, and how I had the awareness that it felt like I was feeling wrong.
Yeah.
Not like I was feeling bad or feeling sad, but I was doing the act, like the actual act of feeling.
You were doing the feeling wrong.
I was doing the feeling part of it wrong.
Let's talk about that.
Well, I don't know. Like, that was 2 weeks ago, and so much has happened since then.
Okay.
But that was one of the things that I...
Should we start there?
Did you resonate with that idea?
Yeah.
The whole thing of just like, it's not necessarily like I'm feeling badly, but I had awareness that if I was feeling badly, if I was feeling upset, sad, angry, any, depressed, any of those kind of like negative emotions, the story that I had and the program that I had was that I was doing them wrong.
Yeah.
That there was a healthy way to feel those things, and that whatever that was, it was the opposite of what I was doing.
Do you know where that started?
Definitely in childhood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you pinpoint some things that might have led you to believe that?
I don't think I have anything like that stood out as far as like, this is specifically why this thing is here or why I feel this way. I know that it's a lot of the programming around like just getting emotions shut down.
Yeah.
Being told, to go to your room, all those kind of different things that I experienced growing up of just minimizing emotions.
Mm-hmm.
But I also never saw anybody feel negative emotions in a healthy way.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Anytime somebody in my life was angry, sad, upset, whatever, all those negative emotions, it wasn't done in a healthy way. So I think that that's a big chunk of it was just what I was, I wanted to say just what I was displayed, but just what was displayed for me. And then by and large, it's just the realization that because I didn't know, I guess I never felt like I knew how to do it. Like nobody ever explained to me like how to feel sad or how to be, do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That it was okay, I think probably is what it boils down to, is just that it didn't feel like it was okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I resonate with that a lot.
Say more.
Say more. First of all, I'm glad that you're recognizing now that you've set with that you're like, oh, turns out I am feeling the right way. My feelings are valid. I get to feel them. I get to feel them however. And just allowing the space to come through and be felt, like that's a big deal. Do you want to say more about, before we get into that, like how you're allowing yourself, or do you not, because you're taking your lid off your tea right now?
How I'm allowing myself to feel?
Yeah, you're allowing yourself to feel. Now you realize that you're not feeling it wrong. You're not doing it wrong just because you're feeling.
Yeah, it really gave me permission. It opened up a whole bunch of different things as far as like, I'm all clustery over here.
I am too.
Got so many different
things moving
around.
I'm just like, I can't get comfortable. I can't figure it out. It's really challenging right now.
It's so silly.
Ow.
What's up?
I just itched my eye, but I managed to stick my finger right in my eye instead of itching it because I'm so off balance that I didn't
finger in
even
your eye.
know where I was touching my face. I was just like,
What was your question? We're going to be a little squirrely this episode.
What was my question?
Yeah.
Yeah. How does it feel
I
like?
have been feeling more.
Yeah.
Been crying a lot more.
Yeah.
Allowing myself to feel sad. Also, like when things get, not when I get depressed, but when things get depressing or sad in life, I just kind of roll with it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I do have the awareness that it's like, I'm doing this the right way. I'm feeling these things the right way. I think the biggest thing that's come from the awareness for me is just simply that I've got permission to feel. Yeah. And that has been really powerful for me.
Can I ask you another question?
Sure.
Have you noticed how it's affected when you feel happy, joy, connection, love, passion, the emotions that are a little more pleasant to feel? Have you noticed anything there?
I think so. I think that it's definitely helped in that area as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It's like all of it was just the awareness of like how silly I felt after. Like there's a part of me that had the big epiphany of like, oh, wait a minute, I'm doing all of these the right way. I'm not doing this wrong. And that was really nice. But then marinating in it and processing it and thinking about it more, it's just the awareness of like how silly it was to think that I was doing the simple human act of feeling wrong. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And I think even the deeper part of that is thinking that I'm wrong in so many different ways, right? Of course, I'm going to feel emotions the wrong way because I'm wrong for all the other things that I do. I can't do anything right. And that's kind of like the deeper part of it.
Yeah.
So giving myself permission to feel all the good and the bad, as well as just like acceptance of myself, has been really, really powerful. That's been big for me in my space the last couple of weeks. It's been really, really nice. What about you?
I have another question for you, though.
Oh, fire away.
I'll just say one emotion, just like one feeling.
Yeah.
And I want you to, if you feel up to it, express like what it brings up in you.
Okay.
Ready?
I'll do my best.
Okay. Yeah. But like tap in for a second. You don't have to like, it's not rapid fire. You can like sit with it for a minute, allow yourself to tap into that feeling. And then what comes up?
Okay. Let's hear it.
Excitement.
How does excitement feel in my body? Scary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know why?
I don't know why. Do you?
One of the things that I've noticed that you're really working through is when you get excited about something, when you're feeling excited and passionate, you are practicing being in that space of allowing it to be okay and allowing yourself to be excited for something and not making yourself wrong or what you're excited about wrong, allowing excitement to be a fun creation feeling in you. And it's a dance that you're trying because it's a hard one for you. It's when it comes up, you're like, oh, I'm excited. Then you're like, oh, I was like things you'll ask me sometimes. Am I being too loud? Am I being too much?
Yeah.
It's like, nope, no, you're not. You're not.
Yeah. That's interesting. That's a funny one, isn't it?
Funny how so?
Can you relate to that as well?
You're deflecting fast.
I don't even know what we're talking about. I don't know why we started off. Yeah, let's not talk about feelings.
We were talking
Who wants to talk about feelings?
We were talking about how you recognize that you are feeling right.
Yeah.
You're not feeling incorrectly. You're not doing feelings wrong.
Yeah, I'm doing the act of feeling correctly. Yeah,
like, you know, like when you feel bad, it's okay to feel bad. You don't have to like pretend like you're not.
Mm-hmm.
When you're happy, you can be happy. You don't have to like downplay it. You know, I'm happy, but not too happy because that might make somebody uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I'm excited, but not really too excited. You know, I'm still very humble. I mean, I don't think I can do it. I don't think I should really be that excited. You know, it's these containers of never too much of any emotion. And yeah, I can relate. That's how I can see it so clearly in you. I can definitely relate. You're not alone over there.
Thank you, baby.
Yeah.
What were some of the things that you had in mind that you wanted to talk about? Anything that comes to mind?
I was excited for your list.
I wanted to talk about, I think that we should talk about that, the show that we watched on Hulu, The Dying for Sex.
Oh,
that's what it's called, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
That made you feel things? It was intense.
Made me feel a lot.
Yeah, we binged that in the last week or two.
Yeah.
And it's got Michelle Williams in it. There's a bunch of other people in it, obviously, as well. But it's a really beautiful little show. And apparently it was
based on a true story.
Well, I think it was a podcast originally, too.
Was it?
Yeah, I have to go back and find the podcast.
I cannot do that, man.
Yeah.
Oof.
But it was gut-wrenching, right?
It was.
So the story is this woman has stage 4 cancer, And she realizes that she doesn't want to, her life's been a certain way and she wants to change it there at the end and live a life of really just joy and happiness.
Yeah.
But that
I think liberation's
liberation's a great word. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was bawling
Yeah.
like nonstop watching that show. That in so many ways, that show just cracked me open in really big, beautiful ways of being able to I think sometimes like that's what I'll do with movies and TV is. Today's episode of the podcast is brought to you by Routine.
We've been on the hunt for an electrolyte powder that we can add to our water every day, and we're excited to say we found it.
Morning Routine is a special blend of organic lemon, apple cider vinegar, Himalayan sea salt, and all the other essential electrolytes that you need for your day. It's non-GMO, organic, dairy and gluten-free,
Soy-free, sugar-free, keto-friendly, 100% vegan, and made in the USA. And one of my favorite things about Routine is that it doesn't contain any synthetic dyes or preservatives.
You simply add water, shake it up, and enjoy the nutrients that your body needs for the day. We've been enjoying Routine for a while now and can't wait to share it with you.
Right now, listeners of the podcast can save 10% off anything at Routine. Head over to yourroutine.com/Steph and Craig and be sure to enter promo code Steph and Craig at checkout to save you your 10%.
Start your day off the right way with Morning Routine. Your body will thank you.
It gives me the avenue to just open up and feel, if I'm feeling whatever I might be feeling. But I love the emotional release of it all.
Man, I fought that one. You know how you're watching it, and I did not want to go down that tunnel of despair. So I stopped watching and was like looking around the TV. And just so I was like looking at the wall and I'm like, it's not real. You're not there. This isn't happening in this space, and I know it's happening in the world and there's but I couldn't like the connection that you had with her, like the story, like her role in that, she played that role.
Yeah, she did great.
She played that role really, really well. And I don't know if that's the right terminology. That's okay. That's how I say it.
She acted that role really well.
Right. She is a phenomenal thespian. But I couldn't, like, I was thinking like, oh, I'm going to break apart right now. It was too much, which is silly, but I didn't want to go into that. I couldn't. So I like actively dissociated from it. And I'm like looking at the TV, looking at the sign, really convincing myself it's okay. And then you asked me at one point, you're like, why are you not crying? Just to try and talk. My voice is like, I can't let anything out because I'm going to get mad if I cry. I didn't want to feel all of that. And I was like, why am I putting myself in a situation to like be destroyed over this? And
is it not cathartic for you to have those big emotional releases? Or does it like what does
hurts.
that does it?
It hurts. Yeah, I know like I can tap into my own release, and when I have that emotional like release for myself, I can allow myself to cry for myself now. And I can cry for other people, but I don't want to lose myself in the sorrow and misery of things if I don't have to.
Yeah.
And I don't know, maybe this is my avoidance stage. I definitely have some avoidant tendencies that come up, but it was just like, I don't want to embody this sensation. I don't want to embody this experience that I'm not having. And I can still be compassionate and empathetic and very much realize so many people are experiencing this and have compassion and want peace for them and want happiness and joy and like help in all the ways. But I did not want to jump into that tank at that moment. I didn't want to lose myself in it. So I was very like dialed in. I'm looking at the dog. I'm looking at the couch. I'm looking at the ceiling. Where am I? I was grounding myself in my room and the surroundings that I was actually in. So I didn't lose it because I didn't, I was like, I'll be out for a while. Yeah. I go into this, I'm going to be out for a while. It doesn't like have this cry that, and I'm like, okay, better. Here we go. I went there and now I'm going to be here for a while. Bring me my blanket. So I didn't want to do it. And I didn't. I'm proud of myself.
You didn't feel the emotions.
I didn't feel the engulfing, surrounding burial of the emotions. Yeah. I still felt emotions, but I didn't become the story that I was watching.
Boy, I don't know. That's an interesting thing that we do differently.
Yeah,
like,
it is.
I like when I start to feel connected to movies and TV like that.
Yeah.
I like that sensation where it feels like I'm starting to relate to what they're experiencing. And even just like, because in this show, obviously it was we're leaving out a bunch of stuff. It is called Dying for Sex. There's a lot of sexy stuff in it, but it's done in such a beautiful way that it's just like, it's an awesome show.
Yeah.
I really liked it. But when I start to feel emotionally connected to whatever's happening, and I can kind of start to draw some parallels to life and some different things like that, it definitely starts to spark all of that stuff up inside of me. And I go towards it. Like I don't resist that thing of like, oh, I don't want to feel like you were kept saying, like embodying that character or that energy or that sadness or something like that. And I'm like, I feel like I just pick it up for a minute and then feel whatever that feels like. And then the feeling of it, it kind of allows that release to happen. I don't feel like I'm now suddenly taking it on. I don't know. That's kind of interesting. I haven't ever thought about it that way, because you don't cry a lot at movies. You will sometimes. Are you thinking that you're like...
I'm like, interesting.
Do you feel like you do a lot?
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was one of the ones that would be on my shows. Like I won't watch that one again.
Yeah.
Like that would go on the list of shows that was too much that I won't watch again. And so, yeah, I think I cry out, but it doesn't matter. You know, I feel like I have a healthy relationship with that, and that's
all that matters, babe.
in that.
Right?
Yeah. I think you're just mad that you were crying by yourself. I think you got triggered a high school date.
No.
And you were like, why aren't you crying? I'm like,
it's funny that you bring
right,
that
honey.
up.
Put your head on my shoulder. I got you.
It's so funny that you mentioned that.
That's where you were going, huh?
In the middle of when we were watching the show, that's exactly what was coming into my mind.
I could tell by the way you asked me.
Yeah? Just now?
No, then.
Yeah.
That's the only reason I gave you the answer. Yeah.
That's so funny.
You were safe.
Yeah. Yeah, I had this date back in high school that was really funny what was the movie? It was City of Angels.
I thought it was Titanic.
No, it wasn't Titanic.
Well, I think we have a podcast that you've said the story before, and I'm pretty sure you said it was Titanic.
Titanic? No, I've seen Titanic a ton, but
maybe it was City of Angels.
Not maybe, it was City of Angels. I remember.
I mean, you told me the story with Titanic, but it is your story, so I believe you.
The end of City of Angels is devastatingly sad.
Yeah.
With Meg Ryan and Nick Cage, right? And I'm bawling, just sobbing uncontrollably, tears running down my face, even after the credits, even walking out of the theater doing it was like just this incredibly huge, sad moment for me where I had this massive emotional release. And the girl that I was on the date with was like, no tears at all. Zero. Nada. So I felt cool.
Maybe she was looking around trying to ground herself.
Could have been.
Maybe she was like, I can't handle this right now.
Yeah, that's probably what was happening.
Yeah.
In my head, it was like she was thinking, what on earth am I doing with this person? I thought it was like, anyways, that's a whole other story. That show
also, that was a show that made me lose, like I felt ultimately betrayed. That show broke me in ways that, like just hearing the title would upset me. Like I watched that and I would never watch it again. We watched it not too long ago.
Yeah, we rewatched it like a year ago or something.
Yeah. Do you remember? And then we were like, it did not hold up.
I know, it was interesting, right?
We were like getting ready for our okay.
I don't know what was different about it, but it definitely didn't have the same.
We've been healing our souls. Let's rip it apart again. And then we were like, didn't quite hit the same. Yeah, wasn't the great. It wasn't the same movie.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
What have you been into, babe? Like what have I know it's like you just got in trouble.
I got some ideas from that show that we watched. Is that what you're asking about? We have been
having great sex, but I don't think it's necessarily that show. I think it's a combination of a bunch of different things, right?
Yeah.
We've been having incredible sex, but I think that's because we're getting to a spot where we're more comfortable, healed more. All sorts of different things are coming back into our space in beautiful ways. But yeah.
I feel like it's presence.
You think presence is a big deal?
I'm really working on being present with you.
Yeah. That came from, what's her name, right? Dr. Emily Jamia.
Yeah.
That was a really good episode that we had.
Yeah. So that's what's shifting for me in that space. I feel like I can really sink into you and be present with you and in those moments and being more present throughout the day, which is allowing that. And I'm very present with you, and that's nice.
Yeah. I have some questions for you if you'd like. There was something that I thought, again, I was going to mention to you before we started recording, but now we're just going to go with it.
Shit.
Because for the past...
There's no alcohol in my tea.
3+ weeks, coming up on 30 days, you have been doing that mantra over at Prism Light Weaving with all the
I
the
have.
30-day challenge that you've been doing. Do you want to talk about that?
Sure.
That sounded really convincing.
I got nervous.
Right? I think it's awesome, babe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's a bunch of different things that have come from it. At least I've seen.
Today's episode is brought to you by Woolly. Most fabrics today are packed with synthetic materials, microplastics that shed into the environment and your skin.
But not Woolly clothes. All of their apparel is made with natural merino wool. And the very first time I tried Woolly, I was hooked. I swapped out all of my boxers, not just because they're comfortable and feel good, but I'm also concerned about not leaching any of those harmful chemicals you know where. I mean, come on.
Craig loves his boxers, and let me tell you, I can't get enough of their panties either. They're so soft and comfortable, it almost feels like I'm not wearing any underwear at all.
Merino wool isn't just soft and comfortable. It's naturally moisture wicking, helps regulate your temperature naturally, and odor resistant. So with temperatures heating up this summer, it's time to go with some Woolly.
And right now, listeners of Steph and Craig get 15% off of everything at Woolly. Click the link in the description. Be sure to enter promo code Steph and Craig and save your 15% now.
Wear better, feel better with Woolly clothing.
Kind of observing you and watching you do it for the past. What day is today? Is today?
Today's 23.
Day's
Haven't recorded it
23?
yet, though.
Yeah. So by the time this episode comes out, you're going to be
Close to.
yeah,
if
you're going to be
not
close
done,
to
yeah.
day 30.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about it? We don't
Okay.
have to by any
No,
means.
totally talk about it. It's this, it was in this session that I had this connection with myself. And I was walked through this place of, it was really neat. You know, I've worked with myself in different timelines, you know, inner self, like inner child work, younger me, older me, different, like all the way across the spectrum, you know, and I'm really familiar with that. And I understand that, I have this connection of like the time is not linear. It's a cyclical, everything all at once. And we have visions of us as fairies. And so I know the other dimensions and I feel like we can connect with that, but I haven't actually been able to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And this went through, it connected me with another dimension of me that's like same time frame, same right now, just kind of like tilted
Yeah.
just a little bit. And she wasn't, I'm like, am I going too deep into this? I probably didn't need to start here, but this is where I started, whatever. She doesn't have some of the blocks that I'm pushing through. You know, she's confident, knows her worth, knows her place. She has all of this thing that I want to embody, want to be able to own myself, own my voice, stand up and just like be me without feeling like I'm gonna fail and not care if I do fail. Not because it doesn't matter, but I don't lose value. I don't lose any value with it. And I get really scared to do really big things. And that sucks. I still do big things. You know, we talked about my word this year is courage, but it's scary and it's always going to be scary. But there's this part that just feels like if I was to dedicate time for myself, if I'm like pushing through that I can only do that when I'm in a selfish phase, that when I'm doing it in spite of everyone else and just being like,
Kind of like a breaking point.
like,
kind
yeah,
of thing.
it's literally a breaking point before I like really give myself time.
Yeah.
And everything else has been, I'm never a priority. I'm always an option and I'm usually my last option until I hit that breaking point. And then I will, you know, so I've been working with that. And I've been doing better with that. But this is something that I really wanted to push through. And I got introduced to this other dimension of me who embodies that completely. And I asked like, how do you do this? How do you have this? What are you doing differently? Like, and she just like had this earthy voice and was so like looking right at me and said, I am worth my time. And I was like, bam, I am worth my time. And it just hit. And I was so excited. I'm like, and I immediately was like, I'm doing content for this 30 days. I am worth my time. And instead of starting it by myself, doing it for 30 days and then talking about it, I'm like, come along the journey. Let's see what unfolds. I didn't know what was going to unfold. So I immediately started day 1. I'm worth my time. Day 2, and just talking about what comes up as it's coming up. And some days are hard, and some days things are unfolding that are blowing me away, that I didn't see, that I didn't, there's parts of it that I thought were going to happen, and then things that I just didn't even know to look for. that are shaping into this space. I'm getting like really excited. I'm getting really confident. I'm coming up like these creativity blocks. I'm starting to have ideas for other things that I've had these blocks on because I've had this worth block. I'm taking the time to actually, like, I'm meditating all the time. I'm taking this course that I like because I love learning. I love learning. I love learning. I love learning from people. I love getting my fire stoked and just like growing. Like, I love it so much. I'm taking the time to weave on myself on the things that scare me. And usually I would only weave for things that didn't scare me, but I wanted help with. But the really big things that scared me, I was like, I don't know. No, thank you. Because I knew it would make a difference. I knew it would make change. And I didn't want to really make that change yet because I was so scared. But now it's like, oh, let's go.
Exciting.
So I'm having a lot of fun with that. And I'm finding my voice. I'm very familiar with my voice and my expression and what I feel and what I think and what I want when I'm like by myself and when it's internal and home and with you. Like, I don't worry about what I look like or sound like.
Yeah.
It's just like this authentic thing. And it's funny because when I'm like doing the content with it, the more messy I am, the more like when it just comes and it's unpolished and I speak it and do it that way, as opposed to like, okay, I have an idea. I'm going to get this shot right. I'm going to get this, that feels less. It feels like I lose a little bit, and not to mention, I'm still going to do it that way. I'm still going to put forth the effort. I'm worth my time to set up lighting and plan the shot. I'm still going to do that. But what shifted is when I would have these inspirations before and I would want to talk about something and I was like, whew, messy. I was like, absolutely not. Like, I need to clean up. I need to get it set. I need to, it cannot. And if it comes like that and it's a powerful one, like, I am just being raw, and it's not I hope it resonates with other people. And I love that it does. I'm getting like responses back that it is making a difference. People are feeling it and moving it and thanking me. And that feels amazing. They're just like, I'm seeing this. I am worth my time. I am worth my time. And I love that.
Yeah.
And I'm doing it for me. I'm putting this out there. I'm proving things to myself. And it just feels so good. And it feels so good to not feel like I have to have things polished. Like, okay, let me do it first and then I'll take you through it. Let's go on a journey. Let's do this together. So that's what's been going on.
It's so awesome, babe. It's been
fun.
so fun to watch and kind of vicariously observe you as you've been doing all of this for the past, like we said, 20 plus days now.
Yeah.
It's been really, really exciting to kind of see, and from like a bunch of different levels, right? I'm proud of you from the perspective of being your partner and watching you go through all of this. I'm really happy for you because it does feel very much like this, like, and it's I want to say enlivening, but that's not the right word. It's an exciting time. I was trying to think of a word that's too complicated. Let's just go with excitement. But it's an exciting time in your life right now. You've really woken up to a bunch of different things and done a bunch of different work to get to this spot. And it's cool to see you start to like blossom and grow. And it's like the butterfly coming out of the cocoon and all these amazing things that you're starting to step into and do. It's really, really beautiful.
It's been fun. I know you've been hearing it every day because you're my editor and I love the work that you're doing. But have you been practicing it? Have you said it?
I haven't.
Yeah?
Yeah. That's an interesting.
You were worth your time.
Right? Yeah, no, I haven't. There's in some contexts, it's like I forget that dynamic, like not that dynamic, but I forget that component of like, I did a really, really good job of doing what I want to do, but not from like the self-centered perspective of like, I'm just doing what I want to do, but really from the perspective of like, this is simply what I want to be doing from moment to moment to moment to moment,
Yeah.
just living my life that way. If I want to wake up this time, if I want to go this way, if I want to do that.
Yeah, you've been doing really good with that.
Yeah, I've been
Really
doing that
good.
for a while and it feels great. And then I'll have periods of time where it kind of like backslides a little bit. And it's the same thing that we were kind of talking about at the beginning of the episode where it feels like just when I get down into some of the negative emotions and stuff, I'll get caught down there. And then it's difficult to remember like, oh, wait a minute. I am like the act of doing what I want from that lens of like, just, I don't like even saying it that way. I do what I want. It still has so much baggage around it. I
Right.
think it feels like I'm being self-centered and not caring about other people. But it really is just like this massive act of self-love that I've been doing, where it's like, I just do what I want to do, and I'm not concerning myself with what other people think. And that's not, like I said, the part in there that's really significant for me is so many of my actions and so many of the decisions and choices and literally the things that I would do in life were based around how other people were going to receive it and how other people were going to feel and how other people were going to think. And that's the part that I'm not doing anymore. That's the big act of self-love part in there, where it's like, it's this really, really deep part of me that is being allowed to just be like, I want to do this. I want to do this. I want to do this. I'm like, cool, let's do that. And it's simple stuff, right? It's not like, I mean, sometimes it's like I eat a lot of Bojangles because I want to eat Bojangles and I like my chicken biscuits, but it's more of like just embodying the energy that I want to embody and that I want to be in. But it really does feel like this really big act of self-love where I'm just caring for myself and loving myself. There was that big part of I am worth my time that you had like around day 15, 16, 17. I don't remember exactly where it was, but it was like that real big awareness that you had around inner child stuff, where you were like, oh, wait a minute. I'm going to protect this little girl that's inside of me.
Yeah.
And she's really, really important to me. That made me incredibly happy because I could relate so much to that.
Yeah.
I feel like I did that. Not that exact thing, but like that awareness of like, wait a minute, I'm going to protect that part of me now against everything else. That part gets to be safe now, no matter what. So that was cool.
That was yes, that was
Right.
cool. I've seen you do that. I've seen you experience that. And it just wasn't something that I touched.
Mm-hmm.
I was, it's been connecting with the inner child. It's been healing that spot, giving it the love that I didn't give, giving, me the safety that I didn't have, making sure that I wasn't going to leave myself behind, that I was going to hold that space. I was going to stand up in that space, that I was going to handle the things like guilt, like it didn't need to be put on. I was going to allow that. That was a big one for me too, was it felt like there was this guilt, but when I uncovered it, it was excitement that had been shamed away. And so really what this part of me wanted to feel was excitement, but every time I felt excited, I would feel guilty for that and shame myself and like put it out. So there was all of these steps, but then all of a sudden that hit, and I wasn't meeting and trying to repair. It was this fierce protection energy. And it was very different. I feel like it opened up a new spot in myself. It was another, like it was another level of self-love on that. It opened up a part of me that was like, okay.
Today's episode of the podcast is brought to you by Heritage Still. A few years back, after we learned all about the toxic chemicals in those nonstick pans, we decided to toss them out and go with 100% stainless steel cookware from Heritage Still.
Heritage Still uses high-quality, multi-clad stainless steel to give you unmatched durability, precision, and performance.
Their cookware is safe for any cooking surface. It's easy to clean, and every piece of cookware comes with a lifetime warranty. So whether you're a pro in the kitchen or just learning your way around, Heritage Still makes cooking easier, more precise, and more enjoyable.
Right now, listeners of the podcast can save 10% off anything at Heritage Still. Head over to heritagestill.us/Steph Craig and be sure to enter promo code Steph Craig at checkout to save 10%.
Invest in cookware that lasts a lifetime. Heritage Still, chef-grade cookware for less.
It's so beautiful.
It was interesting, and then I could relate with you on that too, because you had said that for a while.
Yeah, I've
you
been
were like
talking about
tapping
that
into
for a
it,
bit.
and I loved it for you. But I didn't, when I say I didn't understand, it's not that I didn't understand what you were feeling and what you're experiencing. Like, oh, that doesn't make sense to me. What are you doing? It wasn't that. I championed that. I understood that, but I didn't understand what it felt like. I didn't have that emotional connection with myself. And then I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the really big thing for me in the last couple of weeks was the awareness of that I was doing too much.
Yeah.
I kind of had like
You made some big shifts.
this
babe.
real big epiphany in the not too distant past where I was getting too stressed and too I don't want to say worn out, but just too stressed. I was too full of anxiety and stress, and every day just got kind of more and more intense. And at some point, I just really had to pause and look and be like, what is going on? Why am I feeling all of these things? Like, things feel too stressful and too chaotic. And then it was suddenly like, oh, it's because I'm doing too much stuff. I'm building in too many different things into this life that we're creating to keep myself running and busy, because I'm operating off of that program that, like, I got to hustle, I got to work, I got to work, I got to work, I got to work so that we can make money, so that we can survive, just navigating that program over and over and over again. Even though it's like this ongoing process of trying to set things down, because I don't want to create a life where we have to work so freaking hard, right? I want to create a life where things are really easy and we get to do what we want to do. So I stopped and I looked and I was like, I'm doing too many things. I don't have the time in my day to do the things that I want to be doing because I'm doing these other things. And a lot of the things that I do every day are stuff that I want to be doing, but I just had to take a moment and reflect. And it wasn't just a moment, it was a few days. And the process altogether was like several weeks of just sitting in this uncomfortableness of realizing, like, okay, I'm doing too many things, because I was trying to launch a bunch of different things and trying to like, all of this stuff started to happen around February and March, where I started to feel all of this really big pull towards the stuff that I'm doing with Blue Flower, and really enjoying all of that stuff and starting to like get really curious about what that was doing. At the same time, the other podcast that I was doing, Brave Men Dare, was starting to get more and more difficult for me to continue to do it, just from like the logistical standpoint of like editing and content and curating.
You do everything.
All of those things. It was just a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot.
And I took a moment and I just reflected and I was like, okay, what do I actually want to be doing? And then it was really clear. It was like, okay, I don't actually want to be doing that podcast anymore. I want to set that podcast down. I was also trying, because I felt this real big pull to like coach and work with people. And so I was trying to do that again and trying to kind of like get back into that space, because that's a space that I like so much. But at the same time, it was like none of that felt really, really good. And so I was able to just, reflect and be like, oh yeah, I don't want to do any of those things anymore. And you were incredibly helpful with it. Like, you were very loving and supportive, as well as like a great sounding board to kind of flesh stuff out. Had really good conversations with a buddy of mine, talking through all of it, that really kind of helped me recognize and see. And as soon as I decided to set down Brave Men Dare and no longer do the podcast, it opened up this huge space for me. And I did this really cool thing that I like wanted to do. I've always wanted to this is how I want to cultivate my life, right? When space opens up and an opportunity for space suddenly enters into my life, rather than hurry up and fill it up with the next thing, I just want to sit there for a little bit and just be really like open to listening and hearing, and not just immediately rushing to like fill that space up. So I just relaxed and I let myself kind of recover and rest. Took some days off from feeling so much pressure to like produce and create and produce and create. And then all sorts of amazing things started to happen.
Do you want to talk about them?
Yeah, of course.
I want to hear about them.
Yeah, of course. It's been really exciting.
I'm excited.
I think that we've talked enough. It's always the trying to remember how much we've talked about on this podcast and whether or not we need to go back and rehash things.
We have not talked about enough.
I know, but it's also just the perspective of like, I don't know. It's that same old dumb story that I have where we can't ever repeat ourselves on the podcast. And I know that that's so foolish.
I repeat myself all the time.
I know. We're going to do it.
We're going to do it.
But,
Let's do it.
No, I set everything down, and then it was real clear. Obviously, all the stuff that we do with the podcast here is Steph and Craig and all of our content on that and everything like that. I love all of that stuff. And we've got some exciting things in that space that we're going to kind of like start creating more and doing more and spreading more.
You've got some really good ideas. I'm excited.
Yeah. It's not a rebrand. It's always funny because I told you that the other day. You're like, we're going to rebrand the podcast.
I did get scared.
You got all
I
nervous.
was like, oh no.
No, it's just more of a clear direction for what we want to do with the podcast and where we want to take it. But
And I feel really good about it too. I'm
It's
really
exciting.
excited.
it's really
Yeah.
exciting. It's going to be nice. But this is more individually. So it's like one of the really cool things that's happening for us in our life right now is we've got everything that we've built together with Steph and Craig and the podcast and our social media and everything like that. And now we're starting to branch off and create our own things. And you did, I think it was 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, you talked all about Prism Light and everything that you're doing with that. And I haven't talked a lot about Blue Flower in regards to what it is and what I'm doing and all of those kind of things, because truthfully, I didn't really know what it was. I didn't know kind of what it was. I don't know how else to say it, right? I didn't know
Yeah.
what it was. It was just this thing that
It
started
was still
happening.
unfolding.
Yeah. And there's a big, long story. I don't know if I necessarily want to get into that.
What do you want to get into?
I don't know. I'm feeling all sorts of awkward and uncomfortable, even though I don't need to. Yeah. What Blue Flower is it feels, truthfully, it just feels like me. I feel like Blue Flower. And when I say that, it's like, what happened was at the beginning of the year, I had this really big spiritual experience where I connected to an energetic guide, some spirit guide, source guide, some real big, huge, massive energy that I started to connect to consistently for like weeks. And during that time period, I was just getting so much insight and information. It just felt like downloads after downloads after downloads of stuff. And part of what that process involved was getting real clear on who that guide was, which felt really, really cool. That was a neat component of it. And you got to witness all of that too. I love being able to share all of those things with you, but it was like this really cool experience of recognizing who that guide was, what they meant to me, and the connection that I have with them. And somewhere during that time period, they told me that my name was Blue Flower. And I was like, oh, that's cool. I like that. So I'd just been trying to like try it on and feel what it feels like. And that's what the last couple of months have been. And then I did this Zoom call on my birthday this year, which was back in March, where we had some friends that I felt comfortable with, that felt safe with, jump on a Zoom. And then I just kind of did this talk. And it wasn't necessarily at the time when I did it, it wasn't like I was doing this talk as Blue, but it was me embodying that energy and embodying what it felt like. And I loved it. It felt really great. So I did a handful of those like in March and April. And along the way, I had started the social media for Blue and started creating some content over there, and was really just sharing a lot of the stuff that I had like not just experienced, but stuff that I've been into for a really long time. And that really is impactful for me and important to me on my spiritual path, which is something that we don't talk about a ton on this podcast, but that's going to change. We're going to be talking quite a bit about it. And so I started creating all of that kind of content over there and was having fun putting it out. And I've just put it up on, I've got Instagram and TikTok. So it's not everywhere. And I didn't do all the other different ones like Facebook and YouTube and everything like that. And then what? I was
like, you got to do YouTube.
I don't know. We'll see. I don't know. I'm not too worried about it right now. Fine, Stephanie, I'll do YouTube. And along the way, what happened was just everything started to kind of reveal itself, right? Slowly, Blue Flower started to make more sense as far as like it felt more comfortable. And then a couple weeks ago, week and a half, 2 weeks ago, I had this big download that came in the middle of the night where I saw everything that I had been, because I was trying to do like, I don't know, I was just literally trying to figure out what the fuck this thing was. And then I saw really clearly in this download that I was going to start doing card readings using my playing cards as Blue Flower. And I was going to do them like on TikTok and do them live. And it was going to be like this thing. And then immediately, like I started to see it, started to get the information about it, and then just got like this massive download of what that looks like, how to do it, all those kind of different things. And then woke up. I was like, oh, I'm going to do that. That's definitely something that I'm going to do. And then I didn't do it that day that I woke up because we had stuff. It was busy. But I did it the following day, got on TikTok and went live on Blue Flower and just started doing card readings with my cards, with my playing cards that I play with all the time. And it was amazing. It felt so good. And I've been doing it ever since then. And it's really turning out to be this, not just fun thing, but like this really cool, fun thing that I get to do, just these intuitive card readings using my playing cards. And I love it. So that's where it's at for now. Like that's a big, I've got some other ideas about where I'm going to be going with it and stuff like that, and kind of like how to continually embody this energy that Blue Flower is and everything like that. But for the time being, that's what it looks like, is these fun intuitive card readings that I do on lives and of, like private sessions and all that kind of stuff as well. So all of that information is actually at our website, stephancraig.co. You can learn about what Blue Flower is doing as well as Prism Light Weaving. So that's very exciting.
That's very exciting.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's kind of the cliff notes of it all. Like I said, there's so much in there that we'll probably talk about in the ongoing
it's exciting.
Months and everything like that.
And it's really cool.
Yeah, it's been really fun.
Cool. Yeah. Go follow Blue Flower Love on TikTok. Go do it right now. Right now, so you can watch the lives because they're phenomenal.
Today's episode of the podcast is brought to you by Nutrotonic. I've been a big fan of Shilajit for a really long time, but I've really struggled to find a brand that prioritizes quality above all else. Most of what's out there is really low quality, diluted, and packed with unnatural fillers, but not Nutrotonic's Shilajit. Nutrotonic's Shilajit is a rare form of red Himalayan Shilajit. It's packed with all the essential minerals, fulvic acid, and nutrients that your body needs. Shilajit's going to help you boost your energy, your focus, and your overall health and well-being. Nutrotonic Shilajit is the real deal. It's sourced directly from the high-altitude regions of the Himalayas. Listeners of the Steph and Craig Show can save 15% off of everything at Nutrotonic's website. Click the link in the description and be sure to use code Steph and Craig to save that 15% off. Power up and fuel your body the way nature intended with Nutrotonic's Shilajit.
I love the content that you're putting out over there too. It's really, really good.
Yeah.
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 And
It's
follow
nice
on Instagram too, soon on YouTube.
It's nice to be able to talk about some of these things. And the truth is we could share it all on Steph and Craig as well, but it's that whole thing with like the algorithms and the niches and all that kind of stuff. So
And isn't it nice to have your own space?
it is.
Like it's your space. You get to do whatever you want, whatever feels right. It's like it's you. And I think that's really important.
I do too.
And I like what you're doing with it. Your space. It's a good space. You're creating a really good space.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It's felt really, really good.
I'm glad you did that on your own instead of trying to blend it here.
Mm-hmm.
Not that it didn't fit, but it's just like it's that healing importance of, yes, I can, and allowing yourself that space. It's a really big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been really cool. It's been exciting. We're going to start doing more, like with the podcast, what we're doing is, if you followed us for a really long time, it's been confusing probably. And maybe it hasn't. Maybe it's been really clear for
Maybe
the
you've been
people.
like going on the journeys with us.
Right.
There's ebb and flow. Everything changes and grows.
Yeah, we've done a bunch of different things over the
And
years.
I love that.
Yeah. And the latest iteration, because that's the whole thing too, right, is this will fucking change at some point and we'll evolve into whatever comes after this. But the whole idea is we talk all the time about healing together.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a lot of what comes up on the podcast. And that's a lot of the content that we share is us healing together. And we've always talked about it through the lens too, where we're not just referring to the two of us in our relationship, but like all of us are on this path together of healing and navigating all of these different things together. And we're just sharing our experiences. So that's really what we're honing in on moving forward, is sharing what our actual experience has been like over the past 40 plus years, like our entire lives of healing and navigating it, sharing those experiences, what we're what we're facing, what we're dealing with, what's coming up for us, how we're evolving, how we're changing, and then bringing on all these amazing, like what we've already been doing really is bringing on all these people that we learn from, that we gravitate towards, that we resonate with, all these awesome people that we've had the benefit of being able to talk to on this podcast. We're almost, I don't know if you realize, because you don't keep track of the numbers of this podcast, but we're getting close to episode 100. Like this is episode 77 or 78 or something like that. So we're not too far off from the big 100.
Because we don't write them anymore.
Right.
So I don't know anymore. I used to when I knew what episode it was, but now they're different.
Yeah, it's exciting.
That is
It'll
cool.
probably be by the end of the year. I don't know. I have to do the math.
We're going to
Maybe
have
not.
a big party.
A big party for episode 100.
Party. It's going to be a cake. Somebody's jumping out of the cake. I don't know who it'll be. Let me think.
It's not going to be me.
Come on. No, I was thinking like, who could we bring on? Who would be like our surprise guest that jumps out?
The jump out of the cake.
I'm sure they'd love that. Elizabeth Gilbert's coming on. She's going to jump out of the cake. Only you don't have to jump out of the cake. You just come on the show. Like,
I was going to
cool
say
is
something
that?
else about it. I don't remember
I
now.
got really excited about that. I'm sorry.
You're okay.
You're right. I didn't notice.
Oh, have you given any thought? Maybe we need to start planning what we're going to dress up as for Halloween. Like our Halloween episode last year was so freaking fun.
I don't think we can top it.
Well, we don't necessarily have to top it, but I think we need to redo it.
There's no going back. No, I haven't thought about Halloween. I don't know that we can. That was like the
be
greatest.
Here before you know
I know,
it.
but that was like the greatest ever. That was the GOAT. What we do in the shadows is the GOAT, and I don't know if anything will ever. I don't know if I have fun doing anything else.
Yeah.
It was the best.
It was so good.
Okay, what's better than what we do in the shadows? I don't know. Is there?
I don't know. We'll see.
Okay.
Yeah,
we'll
so
see.
no, you haven't given it any
No, I
thought.
have not. Suddenly I'm panicking. I'm like, shit. What are we going to do? I don't know.
We'll have to find out.
Okay.
What else is new, love?
Maybe we come back. Maybe Nadja and Laszlo host it every year.
They could. We could
Yeah.
bring them back.
Okay.
Surprise
yeah.
guest hosts.
Yeah. Maybe, huh?
Were you thinking about the costumes?
I was. And then I was like, oh,
wait a
shit.
minute. I don't think we have that costume anymore.
We're good about that. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. This plant's getting pretty.
It is pretty.
It's getting big. Yeah.
Well, let's wrap up so we can go eat some lunch.
Is it because I started talking about the plant? I'm
yeah,
like, look
you're
at the
like,
pretty
oh,
plant.
that plant's pretty.
I was just noticing how big it's gotten and how much from the volume from all of our speaking and all that. It's because we podcast with her.
We podcast with the
Yeah.
plant. It's a big plant.
Okay.
It's exciting stuff, babe.
I got that nervous about Halloween. I'm like checked out.
Yeah.
I started panicking about the Halloween episode. It's not even June yet. I don't have to worry yet.
We got to start
Why
planning.
did you do that to me?
It popped in my head. I have
What
no
if the
idea why I
Halloween
said
one
it.
is the 100th episode?
It might be. Maybe that's why it did pop into my
Maybe.
head.
Ooh.
I should do the math.
There's
and
definitely
see
going to be cake.
if it's the 100th
Not just
episode.
jumping out of the cake. And like tasteful stuff. I'm not making it weird. Like
I might be. In my head, it is. In my head, it's
I
very
just
weird.
realized that there's other kind of like jumping out of cake
I think
things.
that's all that jumps out of cakes.
Really? No.
Yeah. Is there not? Like,
Look, my channels I have a little more channels than you, okay? You might have only seen one kind of cake jumping. I don't know. I'm so nervous. We need to end this. I'm making it worse. I got totally nervous.
you're so cute.
I am worth my time.
Help us with the podcast by supporting it, by subscribing. If you enjoy the podcast, we really appreciate a subscribe, a listen, a download, and a share. You can do all of those things really easy from whatever app you're listening to us on. And leave us a little review. Like if you're into the podcast and you want to review it, give us 5 stars or thumbs up or whatever it is on whatever platform you're listening to. That really helps. And you can also support the podcast by going to any of the sponsors that we have. Promo code's always going to be Steph and Craig, and that helps the podcast as well. New episodes every Monday, and we've got lots that are coming because this is the latest iteration of us.
I know. I'm just like, stay tuned.
We're so freaky.
We're going on another journey.
We're so freaky evolvey.
I love it.
It's so fun.
I love it.
It's really, really
I
exciting.
love that we don't stay in one box. That we're like, there is no box. We don't have to conform to this. Everybody's always changing, and we allow and celebrate that. And
Yeah.
I love that. And I hope we always do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for every listen, download, and share that we've ever gotten as well. And for all the people that support us on social media and everywhere else that you can find us.
Thank you.
We're deeply grateful. Expect the best.
Plan for the greatest.
And we'll see everybody on the next episode.
See ya.
Take a chance, we got a wild ride. Wait and see, you and me, we were meant to be.
Thanks for tuning into the episode. If you haven't yet, please take a moment and subscribe, rate, review, and share this episode with somebody. There's new episodes of the Steph and Craig Show every week. And if you enjoyed this one, be sure to check out some of these clips as well. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you all on the next episode.